We have someone in Vietnam. Welcome. That's amazing. Michigan. So glad you could all join us. Okay, my friends, so we are going to officially get started. I am going to start our recording. That way, if anybody would like to access this after today's session, we're going to be providing the recording, the archive, so you can view it, reference it back, and just enjoy this experience all over again. So give me just a moment to get that started, and then we will give some introductions before the main part of our session today. Excellent. Okay, so official welcome everyone to week 2 campus experience on Tuesday. Today we have a very special treat for you. We have our guest host, who I'll be introducing in just a moment, is joining all the way from New Orleans. So similar to some of you out there, this is a global session bringing us all together to talk about something that we are currently learning, which is creative presentation, and really how to engage our audience and be a part of our presentation experience with confidence, excitement, and in a way that shows those that you are presenting to who you are and what you're all about. So my name is Angela Spoto. First, just to introduce you all, some of you are in the classrooms with your instructors, so I will first shout out to section 1 if you're in your classroom with Kristen Heaney. Welcome everybody. So glad you could join us from building 3F, room 129. Section 2, who is in the classroom with Miss Rebecca Godsey, and that is our auditorium, room 106. And section 3, who is with Mr. Christopher Knopf in our 3B, room 130. So welcome to all of you physically in our classrooms joining us, and also all of you out there, again, joining us from home. We're so excited to have you all here with us today. Again, my name is Angela Spoto. I am the department director over first term initiatives, which is inclusive of the creative presentation course. And throughout the month, what we aim to accomplish is to welcome you all here to Full Sail, to be a part of your journey here as you go everything from enrollment to orientation and then beginning your creative presentation course. So helping you learn about Full Sail, get adjusted to the accelerated programs that you all are excited about, but also to leave that first month really understanding how to speak on behalf of yourself, your skill set, and to do so, like I said earlier, with confidence and excitement, knowing that you are learning as you go and that you feel, again, really good about what those skills are that you're growing into. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our guest host, who doesn't need all of a good introduction because he's amazing, but I'm gonna let him tell a little bit about himself to you guys. So please, if you could, a virtual hand clap, or if you're in the room, go ahead and do it with me. Welcome to Mr. Chris Trew. Welcome, Chris. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Angela. Thanks all y'all for hanging out and paying attention. I am grateful to be here. So a little bit about me. I'm a comedian. I didn't always want to be a comedian when I was growing up. I wanted to be a hidden camera show actor. I didn't know how to become a hidden camera show actor, but that's what I wanted to do. And I got into film and production work, trying to figure out how to make my way to this to that world. I met someone on set one time that said, "Oh, everyone who is in a hidden camera show, like all the actors there, they are all like improv comedians." So I said, "Okay, step 1, take an improv comedy class." So then I looked up an improv comedy class. I took it. I loved it, and I got bit by the improv bug in such a big way, and I haven't stopped performing ever since then. But something else happened along the way, which was basically I learned that that like being good at improv comedy also kind of makes you a better human across the board. It makes you a better listener. It makes you a better collaborator, better brainstormer, pretty much, better at communicating. And what has happened over the past like 9 or 10 years, kind of all over the world, is that people, companies and businesses and colleges are hiring people like me who do improv comedy. They are hiring me to go and teach them improv classes so that it can help them be better listeners, communicators, brainstormers, and all that. So while I still like actively do comedy, I'm also like super into this world of education and bringing improv to people who may not necessarily have ever signed up for an improv class otherwise. Because typically in an improv comedy class, it's like half the people there are like, I want to be famous, I want to do comedy. Like a quarter of the people are like, someone else told me to take this class. And then another quarter of the people are like, I don't know, I'm just trying a new thing to meet people, whatever. But everyone gets the same lesson, no matter what your end game is, and everyone grows in the same exact way. So improv is really this like communication superfood that just makes you a better person all around. And so I'm here to teach you guys a little bit of improv comedy. I'm gonna show you the basics of how improv works. I'm gonna tell you why these things are important to learn, even if you will never set foot on stage at a comedy show. And of course, I will have opportunities for you all to participate if you're feeling it. Sound good, everybody?
Excellent. Yes. And the one thing I want to add, Chris, before we get started is I don't think anybody ever really fully knows how to, at least for me, prepare themselves for an improv class, right? Especially if you've never done it before. There's definitely an unexpected element there that maybe you're nervous, maybe it's not something you ever had wanted to do in your life. But what we're going to talk about today and sort of practice, if you guys volunteer, and I hope you do, is directly connected to many of the things that you are discussing with your instructors this month in creative presentation. So this idea of inspiring your audience, the idea of understanding how to share a message and in what ways are most effective to do that. Start with us being clear about what that feels like for us as the presenter, as the communicator. So today, Chris is going to share some of those tactics that they use in improv, but I would encourage you guys to really think about how you can do these things as you're working on your homework or prior to get yourselves, excited, amped up, and really, again, like embrace what you're bringing to the table with your homework, with your presentations, and also to think creatively and outside of the box as well.
Awesome. Yeah, well said. And I also want to add in there before I dive into the material, I want to add that everyone who learns improv comedy, every single person wishes they would have started like way, way long ago. Even those who just took like one class and are like, oh, I saw the way that changed how I treated people. Even though those people who will never be on stage, they will never go on a comedy tour, all of them wish that they had taken one improv class a long time ago. So this is your improv class, everybody. I hope you get a lot out of it. I hope that you ask whatever questions to help me make it more applicable to what you're doing. But I'm going to jump in right now with the building blocks, the foundation, the ground floor of improv comedy. And it's simply a concept called yes and. So it's think of it like this: yes, comma, and. All right. So when we say yes and, what we basically mean is it's just the ultimate way of having a conversation. The yes is accepting what someone just said to you as reality. You're not saying that they're right. You're not saying anything other than you heard them. You accept that as a real thing they said. That's the yes. And then the and is you building on top of that to add the next part of the conversation. I always tell people when they first learn this, if this sounds like, yeah, duh, that's how good conversations work, that's because you're thinking about like whoever your best friend is. You're like, yeah, me and my best friend, me and my favorite person at work, whatever. We don't like, we always yes and. But I'm talking about the people who you maybe butt heads with on a regular basis, or anyone in your family who you feel like doesn't hear you. And so we want to be the kind of people who yes and no matter what. Okay, so I'm going to run you through an exercise right now. That's the basics of it. So the exercise is going to be very simple. I would like to see 2 people to raise their hand right now in the chat, and then we are going to put you in the room with us. And I'm going to walk you through doing a yes and scene. This is an improv comedy scene, but I don't want you to worry about being funny. That's one of the key points here, is that there's no pressure for you to be the most hilarious person of all time. It actually makes it more difficult. So let's see. Okay, we have, I see section 01, Cole volunteers. There we go. Ashton's coming up in the room.
And Ashton's coming as well.
Okay,
awesome.
Great. I love it. I'm into it. Nice work. Here comes some video. All right, so there we go. What's up, Kristen?
Hey.
Can you hear me and see me okay?
I can. I'm going to bring Cole in here.
Oh, great. I love it.
The virtual
Awesome.
background.
I can turn that off. I can turn it off.
All right, Cole is coming up in the room, and then who do we have beneath over here? Who's the other person?
And that's Ashton. Yeah.
What's
right
up,
there.
Ashton?
Hello.
Oh, wait. But hold on one second. It moved from my screen. Oh, Lord.
We're learning as we go here.
Hey, we're all good. We're feeling it. We're all vibing. I dig it. I'm grateful for the volunteers. Cole, come on
There
down.
we go. You got it.
Whoa, Cole, you're on 2 screens at once. You look great. All right, come up close, Cole. If you can, is that how close as you can get?
Hello.
There we go. All right, Cole, give me a mic check real quick. Cole, how you doing?
Hello. I'm okay. How are you?
Great. I love it. You're good. Ashton, give me a mic check real quick.
What's going on? Can you hear me well?
I love it. Okay, let's go, guys. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to start off with Ashton, okay? Ashton is going to start us off by giving a very generic, like kind of boring, plain statement. Okay, Ashton? I'm thinking something that's like, I got new shoes today, or it's hot outside. Something very, very plain, okay?
Right.
And then Cole, you were going to respond to that with an enthusiastic yes, and you're going to add on top of whatever he just said. Then Ashton, you're going to do the same thing to Cole. And we're going to go back and forth, making sure that we are just building the conversation, but always making sure the other person knows that they were heard. Cool. I'll tell you when to stop. I won't let you go for too long, but Ashton, start us off. Remember, opening statement, just something very generic.
Today I went outside into my backyard.
Yes, and I talked with the neighbors.
Yes, and they told me that we're having a barbecue this weekend.
Yes, and I said that I was busy that weekend.
Because
I had to go to the grocery store.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to picking up some red bell peppers for my pasta dish tonight.
Yes, and I actually talked to the neighbor afterwards and said that we could actually participate in the grill.
Yes, and they were kind of confused because they weren't sure of my availability.
Yes, and I reassured them that I am available now because I cleared my schedule and I got it done quickly.
Scene. Awesome. Hell yeah. Round of applause for Cole and Ashton. Cole, you're going to need to shrug your shoulders, my dude. You did great. Take your bow. Good job, Ashton. Hey, okay. Let me explain what just happened and the things that I enjoyed about that. So first of all, good job. Just generally accepting everything. Like that's like, yes and is the ultimate conversation tool because no one ever feels left out. No one ever feels like their idea was trampled on. You're very clearly saying, yes, what you just said, I absorbed it, right?
Right.
The and is always adding on top of it because if you just yesed it back and forth, I mean, everyone right now, you probably can think of someone in your life who only yeses you. It happens on text a lot too. When you're like, I'm excited to go to the movies this weekend. And every you're texting is like, yes, me too. You're like, man, I wanted more than that. Like,
right.
and it. Give me a big and here. So you want to make sure that you are always anding. You guys did a great job of that. Constant stream of ands. I didn't even tell y'all to do this, but I love this. In comedy, we love being specific. We have this saying where it's like specificity kills ambiguity, where it's like whenever you can be specific in comedy, it's kind of unexplainable how much funnier it is. Like if I was doing a show, I would never say like, pass me the ketchup. I would always be like, pass me the spicy Chipotle Heinz. So for some reason, that's just more interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I love the red bell pepper, Ashton. That's fun. And Cole, so whenever I did the because prompt, I just wanted just a little bit more, but you absolutely nailed it afterwards. I think that's just a good conversation habit to get into, is like making sure we're always adding something. We each bring one brick at a time, right? Ashton has a brick, Cole has a brick, Ashton brick, Cole brick. And by the end of it, we have a nice house. No one's bringing a ton of bricks at once. No one's just being like, hey, cool brick. You know, we're all contributing. And that's just one of the many reasons why improv is such a game changer for communication. Cole, Ashton, thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me?
No, but thank you so much for teaching us.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude.
Also, Blue Yeti gang.
Oh, yeah.
Bravo.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Give it up again for Cole and Ashton. I appreciate y'all. So, Angela, something else that that they did really well that I didn't tell them to not do, to do or not do, is you notice neither one of them asked a question. In improv, in the very beginning, when we're doing like training wheels for improv and communication, we coach people to not ask questions during scenes because oftentimes it's a fear-based choice. Oftentimes it's like, I don't want to come up with a thing. I'm afraid of being wrong. I'm afraid of whatever. So I'm going to ask you to come up with it. Where we coach people to just change those questions into statements. So instead of saying, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? I would instead replace that with like, I'm really in the mood for Italian tonight. It's just more active. It's a really small communication hack, but it's more active. It means that you get to respond to that as opposed to feeling like you're on the spot and have to answer the question perfectly. Because in improv, we don't want anyone to be thinking, am I doing this right? Am I funny enough? Am I smart enough? We want you to get in that flow zone. Sound good?
The crossover there too, Chris, just for our students who are watching as well, even if you weren't some of the participants, is to think about that in terms of, I see in the chat box, like that was a lot of fun, right? That's how it should feel in our class as well, right? If you're having fun, so is your audience. So you should be enjoying, you know, the way that you're presenting, how you're presenting, and think about it as well in terms of how the emotion comes through. This week in your assignments, you're going to be practicing some of the Vocal Toolbox elements, which helps us, you know, become more aware of things like our pitch and our tone, right? And so when we give those statements as well, there's that subtle crossover to that statement helps us express more of our emotion, more of the excitement, more of the happiness. So something for our students to keep in mind as well.
I love that. Great. Let's I'd like to do one more. Let's do another pair of people. I'm just going to add one extra element to it this time. I'm not going to make it harder. Should make it more fun. But can I get 2 more volunteers to join us up here on the Zoom, coming at y'all live? I'm from New Orleans. I'm hanging out here. Y'all are from all over the place. I appreciate that. I wish I was in Orlando right now. There's a lot of the world is in Orlando right now, it seems.
Yeah. We have Ellie. There we go. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Waiting for your video to come up. I'm going to run you through an exercise. It's going to look exactly the same as the last one, but this time I am going to push you to do something in comedy that we call heightening. Okay. So who's my first volunteer here? I don't have video yet. Oh, there we are. A man right there. Navy blue, gray shirt. I can't tell exactly. What's your name?
Zion.
Zion? Zion. I love it. Yes. All right. Who's up? Who we have joining us?
I am going to get this video going. There we go. Whoa.
There we go. All right. So we got Zion and who?
There we go.
Someone
Can you
got
actually repeat the instructions? We got kicked when we got
Yep, I got you. I got you. All right, what's your name, my dude?
Scott.
Scott?
Yeah, is the mic working? It's all good?
Yep, you're all good, my
All
man.
good.
You're all good. All right, we got Scott and we got Zion. Zion, you can hear us okay?
Yes.
Great. All right, so we're going to be doing the same thing we did last time, which is with the yes and exercise. But this time, I want you to think about heightening as you're doing this. In comedy, you know, this is true of any comedy project you've ever seen, whether it's a podcast, a movie, a TV show, a stand-up comedian, whatever. They're always heightening, like whatever if the problem is this big in the beginning and that's why it's funny, then by the middle of the scene it's this big, by the end of the scene it's this big. You're just making it more of whatever it was before, right? So I just want you guys to be thinking about making it bigger and bigger and bigger as the scene goes forward, okay? So I'm putting a little bit more pressure on you, but the cool thing is that we've all got your back. And this is almost everyone, if not everyone's first time ever doing this. So I appreciate y'all getting up and doing this, especially under these circumstances. I think that's really cool. All right, so we got Zion and Scott. We'll start with you, Zion. So just like last time, I want you to just make a very general statement, something that's kind of boring. So, something that's like, I don't like fish, or like, I went to the mall yesterday. Something very basic. And then after that, Scott's going to go, yes. And building off of that, then Zion, you can do that right back to him. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Go ahead, Zion.
All right. So I'm gonna go with your statement because it's true. I don't.
Yes, and my mom said we could have chicken instead.
Yes, and we're going to season that chicken with seasonings.
Yes, and my mom said we could have girls over.
Yes, and I can't say what I was going to say, but
Yes, and we're gonna order pay-per-view. UFC.
yes, and I didn't hear what you said, but okay.
No, he said we're going to order pay-per-view, UFC.
UFC. Fight.
Oh,
We're gonna order the match. Fight.
yes, and I'm going to win.
Yes, and we're gonna have a bunch of people over. It's gonna be so fun.
Yes, and I'm going to sleep hard after all the fun we're in.
Yes, and bring your swim trunks because we're going swimming.
All right, seed. Awesome. Cool. Great job, Zion and Scott. Thank y'all for throwing down, going all in. I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all did great. So I appreciated the way these guys were like figuring out what's going on and then making it more or whatever that is. So every time Scott kept adding things to the party, he's like, it's like that's a really great example of this. Like, yeah, we're going to have a party. Yes. And we're going to bring girls. Yes. And we're going to order pay-per-view. Yes. And we're going to, it's like this party to Scott is getting crazier and crazier or better and better or whatever. And Zion's right there with them being like, yeah, man, I'm going to be there too. And I'm going to bring this, and just really nice job heightening. It may have, and if that felt really easy, if it felt really kind of simple, then the good news is that it just means that you have a natural knack for it. I appreciate that you didn't talk yourself out of anything, because oftentimes, and I think that this is something that you guys can really take away from this, again, regardless of your interest in comedy specifically, but you can really take a lot out of the idea of just being in a place with the confidence to like not second guess yourself and not have that filter that's like, is what I'm saying right? Is what I'm saying perfect? I'm just going to go and keep doing my thing, especially for engaging audiences, for public speaking, all that stuff, like being able to just kind of go with it and just kind of live in that zone where it's like, nothing can stop me. I'm good. My partner's listening to me. I'm feeling the flow. It's just so much easier to create stuff and be a good human in that way. Zion, Scott, any questions for me?
It was fun. Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate you, Scott. Zion, how you feel?
I feel great. I enjoyed this.
Cool. Awesome. Round of applause for these two. Appreciate y'all. Yes. However we do it.
Chris, I want to say too, I loved how you could see them like physically get into it, right? Like when they were like, yes. And you could tell they were about to go somewhere really big with that because they were leaning in, they were using their hands. A lot of that was very present just in watching them.
Yeah, for sure. So great job to all of our volunteers. Just so you know, like the next step for this would be doing a scene without having to say the words yes and, but still conceptually yes anding. And that's when it gets a little bit more challenging. When I make you say yes and, it pulls out of you this vibe of like, I'm down for whatever, I'm listening, I'm accepting, I'm building, let's party. And it really helps pull that out of you. But it's possible for you to be that kind of person even without saying the words yes and, because trust me, I know I've been doing improv for a really long time. I understand people don't actually talk like that. People don't actually say, yes, and I am looking forward to the party. I'm going to order pay-per-view. I get it. So the trick is to figure out how can you conceptually yes and all the time. And I don't mean just in the context of these exercises. I mean, like when you're collaborating with someone on a project for school, when you are talking to a family member who maybe you butt heads with, yes and them, you're going to have less fights. They're going to feel more heard, and then you might inspire them to do the same thing. I've seen it happen thousands of times where people are just like, wow, I took a couple improv classes and it just changed the way that I communicate with people. So the other quick things I wanted to go over is a little communication hack of not asking questions. Not saying that every question forever and ever is bad, but just probably about half the questions that we ask on a daily basis can be statements, especially those ones that are like, what do you want to do tonight? Like, come on, you know what you want to do tonight. Why don't you say what you want to do tonight? Or like make a suggestion, you know? I also love the idea of not second guessing ourselves and just kind of getting in that zone. And especially when two people agree to treat each other that way, like things just happen on a more, they happen quicker and it's more fun. And the concept of heightening, kind of like a bonus concept I threw in there. That's a more advanced level comedy thing, but it's cool when you think about like, are we heightening? Is this project heightening from our last project? You know, if you're making a presentation, is it getting increasingly better and better and better as it builds? I know you want to start off strong, but are you also building off your momentum? In comedy, we call it heightening. Every single thing you've watched and laughed at has some sort of element of heightening to it. You'll be able to pay attention closer to that kind of thing moving forward. You'll be like, oh, they made the problem worse as it went on, or the mess got sloppier as the movie went on, whatever the thing is.
Excellent.
Cool. Angela, is there anything else that I can do for you or for the students?
Yeah, I think we have time for one more exercise, Chris, if we could run through that again. We had another volunteer. So
Great.
Maybe if we could just do it with 2 new students. And then, time is flying. So I think after that, we'll do some closing marks and celebrate our wins here today. All right.
I love it. You know what? Since we're doing one more, I'm going to challenge whoever these 2 people are to do it without saying yes and. But I'm going to make sure that you are. If you slip, I'll jump in there and help you out. But so I just want you to practice. All right, who we got over here?
So that's Ellie. Is it Ellie?
Ellie, what's happening, Ellie? Welcome.
We need one more, though. I didn't see the hand stay raised, but one more volunteer to do this with Ellie.
Can you guys hear us?
I'll do it with Ellie if no one else wants to do it.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Oh, we had another.
There we go.
Nope. There we go. I was gonna say we had another volunteer.
Is this another person? Here we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Do I have to? Well, don't look over here because then it's like you're looking like
all yours.
Okay.
All right. So we got Ellie. And Ellie, can you give me a mic check?
Closer. Just say hello.
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. I love it. And then who we got joining you?
Jonathan.
All right. We do have some echo going on Jonathan's mic. Jonathan sounds like the final boss on a video game right now. All right, try again, Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Oh, okay.
Now you sound like a horror movie.
Jonathan, can you get closer to Miss Godsey's laptop? I know I'm pointing, but you probably see me pointing at a wall in your classroom. So can you get closer to Miss Godsey's laptop?
You sound like a god. Oh, you think that's
Oh, he was at your laptop. Oh, okay.
Okay. Like this?
Trembled as Jonathan fiercely echoed throughout the halls.
Sorry.
They're creating a whole narrative and short story in the chat box while we're figuring out the audio. Want to try again?
All right, Jonathan.
Hello?
Oh, like
right.
butter,
Beautiful.
crisp. I love it. All right, so it's Jonathan and
Ellie. Yes.
Ellie. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So here's the challenge. We're doing what we've been doing, but this time you don't have to say yes. And if you ever get stuck, or if you think that will help you, then I completely encourage you to do it. But we're gonna just see what happens if you don't have to say it. But remember, you are still yes-anding in spirit. You're still like accepting whatever they say and building on top of it. Okay, Ellie, we're gonna start with you. So remember, just an easy general statement, because we want to see you say something small and we want to see it turn into something big and glorious. Cool?
Got you.
Ellie, you're on.
I went to the mall and bought some shoes today.
That's good. That's good. I also went to the mall and brought some shoes as well.
What kind? What kind?
What kind?
I brought some Nikes, Air Forces.
Go ahead,
Oh
Ellie.
my gosh. I bought some Nike Air Pro Maxes the other day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How much? No.
How much did they cost?
Well, hold
No,
on.
no,
Wait, hold on, Jonathan. So instead of asking that question, tell us the answer to it. That's a little trick. And so instead of saying how much did they cost, tell her how much they cost.
That's amazing. I paid $100 for mine.
Oh my goodness, I paid $5,000 for mine.
Build up that, Jonathan.
That's good. That's good. I also went to the mall to buy new clothes.
Oh my goodness, I just bought some Louis Vuitton sweaters. I can wear them all the time in my house. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna even take a hot shower and then put on my nice Louis Vuitton sweater and then go to sleep.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It is amazing, because after I go to sleep, I'm gonna wake up 1 hour after, and then I'm gonna do some assignments because I'm way behind.
That's cool. I also went back home and went to sleep.
All right. Scene. Awesome. Good job, y'all. Good job, Jonathan. Thank you, Ellie. Cool. All right. So the thing I wanted to point out here that I liked so much, that moment in the somewhere in the middle, Jonathan, when you went to go ask her the question, and I was like, change that into a statement, like tell her the answer to that question. You notice that whenever you changed it from like how much did that cost, whenever you were like, I paid $100 for mine, that opened the door for her to say how much she paid for hers, and she paid way more than you paid for yours. And so like that can become like the thing that we do. So maybe it's like you guys both kept going shopping. Every time Jonathan bought something, it was like $100, but when Ellie bought it, it was $5,000. But then we had this other thing in comedy. It's called, if this is true, then what else is true? So if I were to give you this formula, like where Jonathan pays way less for everything that Ellie pays for, if y'all were to keep doing it, it would get funnier and funnier and funnier. So it's like, if Jonathan pays like $10 for a burrito from Chipotle, how much does Ellie pay for it?
80.
Like 80. It's like So then it's like, what's wrong with Ellie? And it's like, okay, if Jonathan, if he put a quarter in the vending machine to get like a soda, how much has Ellie got to put in there?
$10.50.
Yeah, it's like what is going on here, right? Good job, Ellie. So that would be the pattern that we would play with, right? In comedy, it's called if this is true, then what else is true? And that also applies in other walks of life. But that's the formula that we use in comedy. And what's funny is that I took this from you. Like, I didn't come in here and say, wouldn't it be funny if that was something that you guys did? And I'm just saying, hey, keep doing that, more of that. So that's another really cool thing I hope you can learn from improv, that your instincts are almost always right, and just follow them and just get in that flow and just move forward and not be too worried about if you're doing it right. Are you being perfect? Are you being funny enough? It's all about communication. It's all about listening to each other. And that's what y'all did. So big round of applause for Ellie and Jonathan. Good job, you guys. I appreciate y'all. Great specifics. Cool. All right. Angela, we did it.
We did it.
What a
You
cool
guys did
group
it.
of people. I'm very appreciative of everyone for paying attention and for being a part of this. Like I said in the very beginning, I really do think that the world would be a much better place if everyone took at least one improv class, and everyone here, you just took your improv class. If you were charmed by it, if it spoke to you on any level, I encourage you to pursue it in whatever way makes sense for you. Like, improv classes aren't necessarily comedy classes. They're all about communication and public speaking and listening and collaborating, all things that are vital, especially in like the arts world, all things that are vital in like arts and entertainment world. I promise you, it will come up again. These improv techniques will come up again in some way, shape, or form. So I hope you got something out of it, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. And I just want, if everybody at home and from the classrooms, I know we can't hear it, but if we could please give Chris a warm, large round of applause. So awesome. So much fun. I highly encourage you guys to continue to practice some of these things, even if it's with your roommates or when you're on the phone, however you can right now. I know a lot of things are virtual at this moment, but we wanted to do this in this way so that you all could see how much fun communicating can be, and also that we don't always need to overthink what we want to include in our presentations. And what I mean by that is, again, I say it so many times, but when you have something that you are crafting, let's say in our creative presentation course this month, feel good about what you've put together, right? You've put in the time, you've put in the effort. Feel good about the things that you are sharing with your audience. But then, just like you did with our improv session today, listen to what your classmates are saying, that feedback that they're giving, listen to your instructors. That way, you can continue to build on that original idea and come out with a final presentation that just totally rocks the show, right? It shows your emotion, it shows your excitement, it provides your audience with a unique perspective, and is really informative all at the same time. In our chat box, Chris did put a link to his improv courses. So I think he'll probably talk about that in just a minute. But I also, Chris, if it's good with you, I would love to give them your social handle as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I changed my name on Zoom to my Instagram and Twitter handle at
there it is.
Trew.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm grateful for all follows. If anyone wants to ask any more questions, wants me to expand on anything, I'm happy to have a conversation with you in the DMs. I am happy to tell you more about improv opportunities wherever you live. I'm pretty familiar with the improv scene at large, and I'm just down to help if you need me. So I just, I'm in the process of moving all of my teachings and classes online because can't do it in person anymore. At least not here in New Orleans, not yet. So I have lots of stuff moving to that Teachable website that I did put in the chat. And thank you, Angela, for letting me plug that. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and ask me whatever questions you want about all this. And I think that you guys are all doing cool stuff, and I'm jealous that I didn't have a single experience like this when I was in college.
Well, again, thank you to all of our students, to our instructors. Thank you, Chris. We're so excited to be able to be doing these sessions, and your creative presentation instructors have many more things planned for you this month. This was just one of many. So we hope that as you continue throughout the month, again, you continue just to build upon all these sessions that we're doing here together, in addition to the content and materials that you guys are learning outside of these sessions. So thank you everybody for your time. We are going to hang back just for a few minutes to make sure everybody is able to get out okay, and we'll stop our recording. But again, I will provide that recording for you guys so you have it in case you want to re-reference it. Alrighty, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. Bravo.
Good job, y'all.